Alright, let's show you what these look like. Let's strap in the blades and the gauntlets.
Did he say strap in or strap on?
Greetings, geeks, nerds, gamers, and everything in between. My name is Jake Masters, and today marks part 3 in the Ghost of Dunkirk. This is my video breakdown series of my World War II Assassin's Creed cosplay. Now, if you watched the last 2 parts, you would know that I broke down basically the clothing, the individual parts that I actually wore as part of the cosplay, but today we get to talk about what we all really wanted to hear about in relations to an Assassin's Creed cosplay, and that is the weapons. The rifles, the blades, the guns, the knives. Now, this is probably one of the parts of the outfit that I had some of the most fun with, because yes, it was awesome and amazing to gather all the clothes and the costume parts together to make this outfit, but guys, when it comes to an Assassin's Creed cosplay, it's all about the props. Now, the weapons was something that I had to think long and hard about. I had to think about what was going to be used with the outfit, not just for weapons that would match the cosplay, but also weapons that would match the environment. Due to the wartime theme of this cosplay, it wouldn't really be making sense to have an assassin running around on the battlefield with a sword at their hip or an axe over their back, so I went with the more subtle approach from Assassin's Creed Syndicate of assassins using readily available weapons that could be used in this environment that would allow them to blend in. Okay, I've gone on long enough, now let's start with what every Assassin's Creed cosplay should never be without: the hidden blades. Now, in terms of the style of blades to wear, I decided to go with the tried and true Edward Kenway style dual hidden blades. The hidden blades presented quite a unique challenge of their own, because any professional Assassin's Creed cosplayer will tell you that the readily available replicas from NECA or McFarlane Toys, while they're certainly very pretty display pieces or collector's items, they're not really practical for cosplay and don't really stand up on the convention floor. They're quite fragile and they break quite easily. However, I came across an Assassin's Creed cosplayer forum online which said that if you're wanting to wear proper hidden blades for your Assassin's Creed cosplay, you should definitely try to look for the much cheaper costume store variants, which I did in the form of these bad boys. Now, this is the costume variant of the Assassin's Creed 4 Edward Kenway hidden blade made by Spirit Halloween over in the USA. Just give you a little look there. The blade is much more sturdier, the spring is a lot lighter so the blade doesn't fly out, as is a common complaint with the official replicas, and it's just generally a bit more comfortable to wear and just a bit more reliable. So I bought not 1, but 2 of these as part of my cosplay. Now, these originally came with a rubber backing and almost like a felt material that was substituting for the wrist gauntlets, and it was absolutely terrible. I had to cut them away, and I substituted the straps with something very interesting. I replaced the strapping here. Now, these leather straps are actually repurposed cat collars from Target. Now, when I first wore the blades with the full cosplay, I noticed a problem of the blades snagging on the sleeves of either the jacket or the coat, and the blades wouldn't really come out. And that was because the felt that the blades had been attached to was almost acting like a spacer, which added a little bit of space in between my palm and the space where the blade comes out. So without that, the blade was easily snagging on the sleeves of the jacket. So I had to come up with an idea for a spacer, and that came in the form of these. These are archery arm guards that are used to protect the forearm of the wearer when they're pulling back the bowstring. But these have been repurposed for the assassin outfit. Just give you an up-close look at that. Alright, let's get on with it. Let's strap on the blades and the gauntlets. Just slip that over. It's so awkward to try to do this on camera. Yeah, there we go. 1 gauntlet and blade strapped in. Do the same for my other wrist. And there we go. Both blades on both wrists. Okay, how these blades pop out is just like any other Assassin's Creed hidden blade replica. There's a button here, however there is no locking mechanism, but the button actually requires a good hard press in order to jettison it, so it's not exactly going to be pressed by the sleeves of the coat. There we go. And then when the blade's out, it extends about to the point of the end of my ring finger, and then to withdraw them back in, just point them inwards with the middle finger like that. All right, that's the hidden blades out of the way. Let's talk guns. Now, here in Australia, we are rather restricted in terms of what we can use as cosplay props, especially in relation to guns. Over in the US or in the UK or even in Japan, they would most likely use airsoft as cosplay weapon props. However, here in Australia, that's a real big no-no. Airsoft isn't legal over here in Australia, but what is legal are gel blasters. It follows a very similar concept to airsoft, however, instead of firing a small plastic BB, they fire a small ball made of a water-based gel. And here is the pistol that I use as part of this cosplay. Just show you guys this up close and personal. This is an M1911A1 style gel ball blaster. I thought long and hard about what sort of a gun to use as a pistol prop in terms of the cosplay, but when I got the holster, it was kind of inevitable, really. This thing is absolutely gorgeous. The slide moves. It's got a red inner barrel, so it passes the cosplay police, as it were. The hammer moves and can be cocked back and clicked back into place. There is a slide safety, and the magazine is removable. I specifically painted this to make it look like it's been through absolute hell. I painted some artificial weathering along the side using a silver model paint that's primarily used for painting Warhammer or Dungeons & Dragons figures. I added some details along the trigger, along the slide serrations, a little bit on the hammer, the magazine release button, and the guiding rod here. Just essentially any places where a lot of movement would occur, I gave it that little weathering treatment. And I also did the same for the magazine. Just added some little details to make it look weathered and old and used. Now, I was initially quite worried on how it would fit into the holster because, well, it's a gel ball gun and not the real weapon. Would it fit exactly in terms of dimensions? Well, I'm happy to report not only does it fit, it fits perfectly. It still keeps its shape, the paint doesn't rub off, and it just fits an absolute treat in there. I'll show you that. Yeah! So that's the hidden blades and the pistol out of the way. Now it's time to talk about the sexiest weapon in my arsenal, and that is the rifle. Okay, so this is the rifle that is used with the cosplay, and just like the M1911, it's a gel ball shooter. This is based around the Kar 98K German bolt-action battle rifle that was used during the war. And yes, it's bolt action, and I am so happy for that. And yes, I've personalized this rifle a little bit to add a bit of character to the cosplay. Yes, it's not 100% historically accurate to the war, like the style of the bolt handle or the addition of the magazine, but I don't care, because this rifle just, it looks so perfect with the rest of the outfit. Now, here in Australia, they are rather strict in terms of their cosplay weapons, and if it's a gun, it has to have some sort of a identifier, like a red or orange tip on the end of the barrel. This didn't come with that. However, with the addition of some red duct tape, it does now. First little custom jobby I did on here was I wrapped some green fabric on the front of the handguard here to basically make it a makeshift handguard when this assassin is out in the field. Fun fact, this is actually the original sling that came with it, but it's just a rather cheap and thin canvas material. Doesn't really work very well. You can see here, I've added a little assassin logo on the end of the stock there. It was actually just done with both a biro and a permanent marker just to make it look like that this is something that this assassin has physically burned into the wood on the end of his stock. I also added a sling that attaches to the front ring of the old green strap and also wraps around the butt here, tightened up. Now, if you couldn't notice already, this sling strap is actually a handbag strap. No, I didn't deconstruct anyone's handbags, no, I didn't steal it. This was bought separately on eBay for about $5, and it has served so very well in its purpose. Even for how cheap the material is, it's held up so well. I think probably the coolest thing about this rifle is the attachments. Not only does it have a magazine and a sling, but it also comes with a detachable scope if I wanted to turn it into a sniper rifle. Just get that off of there. But it also comes with an attachable bayonet. And that's where the knife sheath comes in. Slot that in there. How awesome is that? I have an extra prop to carry around on my belt. So then when people ask for photos, I can surprise them by attaching the bayonet. Now, anytime that I pulled this out at Supernova and attached it onto the rifle, people taking the photos went nuts. They loved the idea. Okay guys, that's everything in part 3 of The Ghost of Dunkirk. Now, I was going to save this for the next video, but screw it. My gift to you, the final reveal.
Meine Arbeit für Richtiges. Ob du glaubst, dass ich fleißig gewesen bin, dass ich gearbeitet habe, dass ich mich in diesen Jahren für dich eingesetzt habe, dass ich anständig meine Zeit verwendet habe im Dienste meines Volkes. Geh du jetzt keine Stimme.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets.
Toward which we have striven these many months. The eyes of the world are upon you. The hopes and prayers of liberty-loving people everywhere march with you. In company with our brave allies and brothers in arms on other fronts, you will bring about the destruction of the German war machine, the elimination of Nazi tyranny.
I gotta get my glasses on straight. Whew. Okay, so guys, that is everything 100% done and dusted for The Ghost of Dunkirk. Thank you guys so much for watching, and get excited for more stuff coming up on the channel. I've got one more cosplay breakdown after this one, and then I can get to work on 2 brand new cosplay projects for 2020. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff, and I'll see you guys next time we enter the armory.